Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. Tonight is WWE Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. If you're watching in the UK, it's around 6 p.m. So no early stay ups till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning as usual. So it's on 6 o'clock, which is a hell of a lot better if you're like myself and you're sick of staying up till stupid o'clock in the morning. Which is one of the main reasons I've always watched the Saudi shows, is just because it's on a decent hour. In and out of WWE myself personally at the moment. You know, I watched WrestleMania. I've watched the odd bits and bobs. It's not as gripping as it should be. It's not as gripping as it used to be. But I'll definitely check out Night of Champions. Like I say, it's on at a decent hour. Plus the kids really enjoy WWE show. And there is one or two matches I do really want to watch, but I will be sticking it on and watching it live. So this is just going to be a quick predictions video to let you know my predictions of what I think, or who I think will win each of the matches, and we'll obviously run through the match card as well, so you've got it there. And let me know in the comments what your predictions are for each and every match. And let me know if you're looking forward to watching WWE Night of Champions. So we're starting, we've got Gunther versus Mustafa Ali for the IC Championship, the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther's having a brilliant reign at the moment in the WWE. One of the best Intercontinental Champions they've had for years. You know, they haven't really done too much with the IC title over the last few years, which is unfortunate because it's got a rich and historic background. You know, some big names have held it over the years, and Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, so many, Randy Orton, so many that have held the IC title. It's got a great background, and unfortunately, like with the likes of Nakamura, Apollo Crews and the likes of them holding the belt over the last 2-3 years, it hasn't been on pay-per-views and such, but Gunther's made it seem important again. He's had some great matches, especially against Sheamus. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania was fantastic. So you know, it's starting to feel like a big belt and a big deal again, which is great. It's what it should be. You know, each championship should feel like a big deal and not just like an afterthought. What it has been recently. You know, Mustafa Ali asked for this release. I think it was last year. Wasn't granted it, and he started being used a lot more on TV now. Obviously, winning a battle royal to go for this title. I wouldn't expect this match to last longer than 10 minutes. Expect Gunther to go through Mustafa Ali quite quick, to be honest. But hopefully it leads to something different, something else. Maybe we'll get another challenger come out at the end of the match, or you know, some sort of storyline coming out of it to say, you know, basically who's going to challenge him next. Mainly because, you know, if it's a one and done, there wasn't really much point. So hopefully it leads to something. But like I say, expect Gunther to take this one. I expect him to not take too long about it. We'll get some good high spots from Mustafa Ali. He's a great talent. But, you know, Gunther's at this for a long time now, and he's been undefeated for a long time, and I just can't see Mustafa Ali being the one that beats him for the belt. Next, we've got Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. See, the problem I am a big fan of Natalya. I think she's a great wrestler. I think she deserves well more than what WWE have done with her over the course of her career. Basically, you know, she is a former SmackDown Women's Champion. She is a former Divas Champion. But, you know, they've pushed other wrestlers to the moon that aren't as talented as Natalya. And I feel like she only ever becomes a thing and only becomes in their minds around the Saudi Arabia time. You know, she was involved in the first women's match in Saudi Arabia, the first women's match, you know, to be on a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, which is a massive deal, and it's a good milestone. And now we've come to Night of Champions in 2023, and we have 3 women's matches on the pay-per-view. So obviously without Natalya, that wouldn't be a thing. So, but again, another one I expect to be not a very long match, and I expect the champ to retain in quite quick and aggressive fashion. To be honest, I can't see Natalya doing too much, unfortunately, in this match. You know, I would like it to go longer than what I expected to, and to be a bit more 50-50, but you know, they haven't done too much with Natalya to build, really. So again, Rhea's on top of the world at the moment. She's been brilliant. You know, she's been great in the Judgment Day. She had a fantastic match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So I can't see anything other than, like you say, a quick dominant win by Rhea Ripley. So we move on to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Now, obviously, this is the rematch from the Backlash pay-per-view, which Cody won. So, I mean, could really go 50-50. I mean, if they're wanting to push Cody to be, the main event star that we all thought he was going to be when he comes into WWE, then Cody needs to take a second win against Brock Lesnar. Whether they want to put Brock Lesnar back in the title picture because Roman Reigns hasn't really got anyone to face, then Brock could win this, or it could just be another stupid disqualification where Cody gets the win but Brock dominates and annihilates Cody. So technically Cody gets the win but Brock just annihilates him and gets disqualified. I mean, this is a 50-50 match, and to be honest with you, it's not exactly very exciting. Like I say, we've seen it in the last pay-per-view, weren't brilliant, but nevertheless, if Cody can pick up another win against Brock Lesnar, it cements him as being a top star in the WWE and starts pushing him forward towards, that title win that he's been craving since he returned. Next up, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Expect Becky to take this one. Again, not one that I expect to go long. Storyline's been okay. Trish attacked Lita backstage after they teamed up at WrestleMania, and then cost, obviously, Becky and Lita the tag belts. The women's tag belts haven't been great in WWE, not been booked well. So, coming out of it, it's going to be Becky versus Trish. Which, to be honest, I think they should have been at WrestleMania rather than what was. I just don't think it should be on a Night of Champions pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. But nevertheless, I mean, it's another one of them, isn't it? Legends versus current, basically. Becky's massive in the world of wrestling, not just WWE. You say the name Becky Lynch and everyone knows who it is. Everyone always knows who Trish is. Two big names coming on it. Trish, obviously, she took some time, take some time away. She's been retired about 3 or 4 times. Not really impressed with the in-ring stuff that she's done so far, but let's be honest, she is getting on now. She'd like say she's retired a few times. Hopefully this should be it. I don't want it to keep coming back. I don't want it to be like a Goldberg as such, or a wrestler that retires and comes back and then has a couple of matches and then disappears and then comes back. We don't need that. There's enough great wrestlers, great women's wrestlers in WWE right now. We just don't need the legends to keep coming back. As a one-off sort of thing, I say one-off, it's been around for a couple of weeks now, but as a one-off match against Becky, then fine, yeah, works, makes sense. Becky isn't doing too much, so why not have her face a legend and a win against Trish Stratus, even if she is technically retired. It's still a big win. Push Becky back into the main event and back into the title picture. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. This is the match that I'm really looking forward to. It's the finals of the tournament for the new/old WWE World Heavyweight Championship. They have said it's going to continue with the legacy that it had previously, which is good. So we're not just ignoring, the previous reigns of Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton, Goldberg, the likes, Batista, Undertaker, Edge. So many big names have held the world title, so I'm glad they're going to continue with that. Again, it's another match that can go 50-50. I love both AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. If you haven't checked them out yet, go through my videos. You'll be able to find my top 5 AJ Styles matches and my top 5 Seth Rollins matches as well. Go and watch them. Good watches, great matches. Involved in both. They faced each other a couple of times now, and I mean, I'd probably say Seth Rollins is probably the favourite going into this. Seth Rollins has been the favourite to beat Roman Reigns for a long time, which they didn't do. So, putting the belt on Seth Rollins does make a lot of sense. But for me, I probably would like to see AJ take it over Seth because, AJ's 45 now. He's starting to wind down. He said this is probably going to be his last contract in the WWE. It's probably going to be his last contract in wrestling. So give him one last world title run. AJ beating Seth Rollins, it's not a shock. You know, he could easily beat Seth Rollins. Still one of the greatest of all time in the ring, AJ. And I'd just like to see him have one more world title run before he hangs up his boots. So I would like to see AJ Styles take the win, take the belt. Even if only for a couple of months before Seth then wins it, it's fine. But I just think, you know, AJ for me, you know, he's been around the tag division obviously with Omos, and then he's in the storylines. He's got injured for a while, had to miss WrestleMania. But I'd just like to see him have one more world title run, like I say, before he hangs up his boots. So I'd like to say AJ Styles, but if I'm going for a prediction, my prediction is Seth Rollins takes the win, because I just think that's the way they're going to go. Next up, Bianca Belair versus Asuka, a rematch from WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca's gone stale now, fans are getting fed up with her. You know, she had the belt for well over a year. You know, it's alright when you can have long title reigns, but when most of your belts are tied up with long reigns, it becomes a bit annoying because all your champions seem to say the same. You know, you've got Roman Reigns on 1,000 days today as Universal Champion. He's held the WWE Championship for X amount of days. You know, Gunther's held the IC Championship for X amount of days. You know, 600-700 or whatever it is, and obviously Bianca Belair, she's on probably about 400 days or something now. So, you know, your champions stay the same, and it's alright if one does it, but when they all start to have these long runs around the same time, then there's not really much change in your product. You know, I was confident going into WrestleMania that Asuka was going to pick up the win, which she didn't do. Unfortunately, you know, she's now 0-5 at WrestleMania, which I don't understand. Asuka's one of the best women's wrestlers that they have on the roster, but they just don't never seem to do much with her and pull the trigger on her. And even when she's, you know, when she's been women's champion in the past, there's always been something else going on that's overshadowed, and she's never really been the top female, unfortunately, which I don't really understand. But you know, she's a fantastic talent, and I would like to say Asuka takes the win. But with them only facing at WrestleMania and Bianca winning, I can't see the outcome being any different. Otherwise, why not just have a win at WrestleMania? And so I'm going to say Bianca Belair takes the win and retains the title. So I don't expect many belts to change tonight, considering it's, you know, Night of Champions, but there we go, Bianca Belair to take the win again. So what it's expected to be the final, the main event, the last match on the card is expected to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline. Always good to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wrestle. I'm a big fan of both of them. I think they're both talented. I do enjoy them tag teaming together. But again, it's past that whole Bloodline storyline, isn't it? And to be honest with you, it seems like the Bloodline storyline is becoming sort of like what the NWO storyline was for a while in WCW, whereas it's overpowering. It's too much. Like, it takes up too much TV time. And I know there's a lot of fans behind it and a lot of fans enjoy it, and that's fine. But a big main reason why I'm not overly as involved in WWE as I could be is because the Bloodline storyline, it's gone stale. It's gone beyond stale for me now. It's too long. You know, they should have ended it at WrestleMania. Perfect opportunity. Could have just killed the storyline there, or just after. But, you know, it's going in, and they're still teasing the breakup, and they've been teasing the breakup for a couple of months now. You know, so, but again, it's Night of Champions, and for some reason we've got, you know, the biggest world champion in WWE history, or whatever it is that they're calling him now, because he's held the belt for 1,000 days today. He's not defending the belts. Night of Champions was always supposed to be all belts on the line, all champions defend the belts, and his belts on the line. So instead of them having to defend the belts, probably because they've got no one for them to face, they're now having them go for the tag belts. I don't get the booking idea, and I know loads of people like the storyline, and they're like, oh, you know, it's like a mini movie, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a mini movie. It's friggin' wrestling. Should be about the in-ring stuff. Yes, the storylines are always good, and it invests you more in the matches and stuff, you know. There's been some great storylines over the years, and even the Bloodline at the beginning was a really good, well thought out storyline. Now it's just trying to like milk it for as much as they can. Like, you've got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. As great as they are, and I do enjoy watching them team together, they're not a proper tag team, are they? You know, let's be honest, they're not a proper tag team. And you got Roman Reigns and Shikoa, they're not a proper tag team. And then you've got the Raw tag belts and the SmackDown tag belts, and they're both tied up to the one tag champs now. So same as what Roman's done with the WWE and the Universal. So then you've got 4 guys that aren't really tag team wrestlers going for 4 titles that shouldn't be involved in the match. Like, it makes no sense for me. But I mean, again, it's another one that can go 50-50. If they want to absolutely go through with this Roman Reigns being like an unstoppable force, no one can beat him and blah blah blah, then they'll give him the tag belts as well. But you know, there's the thing at the moment with the Bloodline are going to split up, and you know, the Usos could be the ones to do it. Usos could come out and cost Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa the chance of becoming tag team champions. You know, if Owens and Zayn, well, I'm predicting that's what I'm going to go with. Owens and Zayn to retain. But I expect if they retain it, expect the Usos to cost Roman and Solo the belts, and then that'll be the demise of the Bloodline. And you know, Solo will obviously take the pin. Roman's not going to be pinned, is he? You know, at all. So I think Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn will retain. I hope they do. I don't want to see the Bloodline with the tag belts, especially another set of belts on Roman Reigns. There effectively be four belts. It doesn't need it. Does not need it, not one bit. So I'm hoping that Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn take the win. I'm hoping it's a good match. You know, they are 4 talented guys. As much as I'm fed up with the storyline, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are brilliant, massively talented. I think both fantastic. Roman Reigns is a lot more talented than people give him credit for, mainly because he does get tied up in storylines that people just don't care about. And you know, Solo's got a bright future ahead of him. I just wish they'd stop overly comparing him to Umaga. Let him be his own dude, you know, let him be his own guy. You know, I think the Samoan Spike under Umaga looked dangerous. It looked like something that could finish anyone off, you know, it looked brutal. Under Solo, not so much. It just looks like any other move. It just looks like a chop or a slap or a drop kick, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like a finisher. But he's got a bright future definitely ahead of him, and I think WWE will push him at some point. But yeah, I mean, the result for this for me, I'd say Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn take the win. So that is all the matches. So we've got 3 women's matches, which is surprising, but you know, hopefully they'll be good. I wasn't expecting too much from Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and it turned out to be one of the best women's matches I've watched in a long time. You know, it was fantastic. So hopefully we'll get at least one of the 3 will be another fantastic match. But yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to watching it. Like I say, the kids are really looking forward to watching it, especially with it being on at normal time rather than stupid o'clock in the morning. You know, the kids are really excited to watch it live. So, you know, I'll stick it on, I'll watch it, and I'll probably enjoy most of it. But, you know, I am looking forward to it, but my excitement levels probably about a 7, I'd say. Probably a 7 out of 10. Whereas, obviously, with AEW, double and often my excitement's more of an 8 or 9. But there we have it. So that's the next WWE pay-per-view. That's my predictions. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with my predictions? And let me know your predictions for all seven matches that are happening tonight. And like I say, if you're in the UK, I'm pretty sure I checked it. It was 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we don't have to wait up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So happy days. So like I say, let me know in the comment section what your predictions are for WWE Night of Champions. Take a look through the rest of my YouTube. Today I dropped the top 5 Cody Rhodes matches of all time. Last night I done a WCW 1999 Booker T unboxing video, and I'll have more wrestling related content for you coming very soon. So keep an eye out, and thank you for watching.